Kaiya, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. As we speak, where are you right now in the world today?
I am in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
How are things in Calgary? It's been a rough 2 years for everybody. How are things been there?
I mean, like you said, it's been a tough year just for everybody. No one's been spared. Everybody had to quarantine back in March. It's crazy. Literally everyone. So I'd say in Calgary, things are hopeful. I'd say, things are hopeful to moving forward, but you never know what could happen and everything like that. So I'm just trying to stay positive and think of the positive side to everything. So yeah, I think that's the best answer I can give you at the moment.
How have you been trying to balance in those 2 years your music career and school? I mean, it's tough enough just dealing with school, it's tough enough dealing with a music career, but combining the two, I can't imagine what you've been going through.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to sort of do the both, but I've been really grateful to have some awesome and really supportive teachers over these past 2 years that have been really supportive of me, missing school for interviews like this and stuff like that. And, I've been online schooling, through Zoom and everything, and that's actually really helped with flexibility in terms of not actually being stuck in a classroom, and I can do more with my music in the rest of the day, which has been really awesome as well. But I'd say it's just, time management and just really staying on top of schoolwork in the day. And then when music things come in, can work on that and then spend most of my, after 3 p.m. working on, or maybe even after like 2 or 1, just working on music, which I'm so grateful I get to do because it's really what I love, music. And it's not like I'm ever going to use physics anywhere. So, yeah.
Just curious, have you built your own studio? I know a lot of folks who may not have had their own home studio in some way. They've built their own, like their closet is now their sound stage, and all these other crazy things.
Right. Yeah, great. Great question. So I'd say it's like a home performance like space. It's not so much a studio. But yeah, it has my keyboard, my Korg. So yes, I do have one, I guess. I got my Korg Grand Stage, which I love so much. And then, our little mixers and the speakers and everything, and this giant like backdrop thing. So I've been really grateful as soon as the pandemic hit and it was safe to go into Long and McQuaid. My dad's like, we're gonna get you all the best stuff for online performing because that's all we've had to do for the past 2 years. And I figured that, just singing like this wasn't enough. So, got mic and mic stand and everything. So, yes, I'd say I have a little home set up in the basement. This is my like interview room. So, you got to have a couple spaces in your house to do everything, right?
Absolutely. Look, congratulations on the new single. We're going to talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about your music career and the love of music. Where did that all begin for you?
Great question again. It all started actually when I was in grade 4, when I was 9, and my music teacher at school came up to my parents one day and said, "Did you know Kaya, is really excelling in music more than most kids in my class?" And then my parents said, no, I didn't really have any clue because they're not really musical at all, and I didn't know either. I had just attended music class and did what I did. But so I got started in piano and voice lessons, and I ended up just loving it, loving every minute of it. And I said, I think this is my passion. I think this is what I want to do. It was crazy. It kind of just washed over me after a little while of playing piano and singing and putting the two together and starting to write songs. I just decided that, what, this is what I really want to pursue. And I was really grateful to find an amazing vocal coach and mentor, Brian Farrell, who's really amazing here in Calgary, and just had so many amazing people who have guided me along the way. But yeah, that's how I got the start and in music, and how I sort of figured out that this is really what I want to do.
So, what was it like for your family, your friends to hear you actually sing for the first time in their ears? And the reason why I say that is because, uh, how old are you? If you don't mind me
I
asking?
am 14.
14. You have a voice of a 30-year-old. You have a big, strong, powerful, mature voice. So, what was it like for, again, your family, your friends to hear that big, mature voice coming out of, and I say this with respect, little old you?
Yeah, I mean, I am still like super short and tiny, but I'd say they were, especially my friends. I didn't sing for them for a long time because honestly, I was embarrassed. I was worried that they would not want to be friends with me anymore. I was worried that somehow their view of me would change once I sang for them. So, but you know what? I said to myself before I leave this school that I've been for 8 years, my elementary and middle school, a junior high, all mixed together. I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna sing for the talent show. Like the scariest performance I've ever done, and it was just for like I performed for, this is not a brag or anything, but I performed for like thousands of people and stuff like that, and with some pretty prominent people as well, which I've been so grateful to have been able to do. But this was by far like the most terrifying performance I've ever done, was singing for my school and singing for my friends. But they were just so blown away, and they continue, when they're at school, they just continue to support me, and I'm so grateful for that. Honestly, I have an amazing support of a friend group, and then my family. Oh my gosh, they're a whole other level. They've just been so, so, so supportive. My parents, I'm so grateful to have both of them because they've just 110% put so much belief into me and so much good values, and have just really elevated me to a next level as a person and as a musician as well, just from their guidance, because I mean, both of them aren't musical. So when they heard me sing for the first time, they were like, wait a second, hold on a second. And especially considering I used to, I was not the best singer when I was super young. So just my voice evolving for a little while until, from the ages of, I don't know, when I was 6 to when I was 9, they were just, blown away. They were like, wait a second, hold up a second. Did you just like what? And they were so supportive of nurturing this passion, this newfound passion of mine. And so I've just been so grateful to have an amazing family and a really close group of friends that have supported me as well.
You kind of mentioned something I think is important to make mention, because I think a lot of folks your age go through this, because here you are, you're trying to figure out your career. That's what a lot of
Mm-hmm.
young folks are dealing with. Here you are trying to, if I can use the term, fit in with friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then you have this unique stage that you have. What is it like for you in having to personally deal with those things? Plus, as much as you have support, I mean, even a guy my age, you still have, we can still use that term, the haters out
Mm-hmm.
there too. How do you deal with that at a young age, in balancing that and knowing that there are people who are supporting you and want you to be successful, but then you have those who are misguided and are like, well, why does she get to do that? Who does she think she is?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, I mean, no one is goes without the haters, both in, personal life and then in your career. I just try to think, it's hard to deal with sometimes. It's hard to wrap your head around, especially when you're younger and you're going through, high school and everything. But I'd say it's just trying to think of the positives to every situation. You know, I remember it was actually my sister who got a dislike. She's a little budding YouTuber. I'm so proud of her and everything. She got a dislike on one of her videos, and she said, "Kaya, I've made it. Someone hates me, which means people love me." So I thought that's actually a really positive way of thinking about it. If people don't want you to succeed, then that just means there are tons of people who want you to succeed. So someone's trying to backlash that and sort of balance it out. I don't know, but it is hard to deal with sometimes. Just thinking about the fact that some people, there's jealousy and everything, but just trying to stay positive and think of why you're doing it in the first place. It's just because you love it, and you really gotta let some haters get in your way of doing what you love. I mean, and it's hard to sometimes do as I say, not as I do, sort of thing. But yeah, I try my best to go by those mottos as much as I can.
It's tough. We all deal with it. So now, what would you call your style? Is it country? Is it pop? Is it pop country? Does country even included in that? Is it just pop? Like, is it R&B? Like, you've got a lot of mix in there with even a touch of rock too.
Yes, I mean, I sort of classify myself as soulful pop. I
Hmm.
think that sort of encompasses everything. But, music's universal. There's so many, and pop and country are crossing over, and rock and country, rock and pop are crossing over, and R&B and pop. They're all sort of crossing over and melding almost. So
Yes.
I'm really trying to, get inside the meld, because I just love all styles of music. Really, I have a big country influence, a big pop influence, R&B, soul, rock, sometimes heavy metal, even. I like listening to classical stuff. Like when you have this wide arsenal of artists you love and music you love, then I think it all sorts of starts to blend. So I like to classify myself as soulful pop, but I have songs that could really be classic. Like I'm in It is sort of has a country flair to it.
Yeah.
Speak Out's very, very, ballad pop. And I'd say, Sweet Talker, which is coming up, has a very, again, very dance, electronica, pop crossover. So, yeah, I mean, that's a great way of putting it. There's little hits and little snippets from everything coming in to meld into this one song. So, yeah, I hope that's a good way of
It
explaining.
is. No, no, it
Yeah.
definitely is. Just curious. Have you done a lot of competitions also?
Oh, great question. Yeah, all great questions. I keep finding myself saying that. I have, yes, I've entered as many, competitions or as I possibly can, and there's the share of rejections and then there's the share of wins. Most recently, I won the national competition Becoming with Los LVS, which Lorraine is just fantastic. And I was very honored to have won that. Seriously, like it's mind blowing and so humbling, and I'm so honored and so grateful I ever found it. But yeah, there's the share of wins and then there's the share of rejections. But yes, I have tried to enter as many, say yes to as many opportunities as I can.
You and I know somebody. He's actually a good friend of mine. In fact, I'm going to be seeing him as we speak this weekend at the CCMAs. Brett Kissel.
No way.
Yeah. The reason why I'm bringing that name up is because there's a connection with you and Brett Kissel. Can you
There is.
please explain to everybody what that connection is? Because for people who know who Brett is, really, if you have to say the number one Canadian country artist right now, it's Brett Kissel.
Okay, so it's crazy, honestly. So I first met Brett, 4 years ago at Brett Wilson's garden party. He's a philanthropist here in Calgary and in support of adolescent mental health, which is something I really care about. So I was 10 at the time. It was my first big stage, over 1,500 people. I was, scared out of my mind, but at the same time, I was so excited. And at the time, I hadn't really fully grasped who Brett Kissel was, but. So I performed Brave by Sarah Bareilles a cappella on stage. Brett Wilson was to my left and Brett Kissel was to my right. And it was an experience like I'll never forget that. And then they invited me back the next year to perform the same song with his full band. And the rest is history, really. He's been a mentor of mine ever since. I'm so grateful for his support and his guidance. He's just such a genuine human being and a
Yes.
remarkable entertainer. So just to have his support and his guidance and his mentorship, honestly, it's meant the world to me, and I'm so grateful to Brett. I'm so grateful to all the guys in his band too, because they, a lot of them played with me at this concert that just happened, and Brett also opened the show with a video of his. So yeah, and in between that time, between 2018 and 2019, I had done a few other performances with the Bretts. Again, charity performances, and building that relationship with him. And yeah, so that's how I met Brett and how it's came to be. A really awesome friendship that I've been so grateful for.
Hopefully, I won't be too crazy busy, but if I can remember, because I know I'm going to be talking to him, I'm going to pass along to say that you and I spoke. So,
Yes,
um, but you also talked about something too that's really important. You talked about charity. Charity is important to you. Can you talk a little bit about that, please, and why?
of course. So charity and singing, using my voice and songs for charity has always been something that I've always been just so passionate about. I think that really came from, both actually this story both founded my passion of writing and also my passion of charity work. My step grandmother was diagnosed of ovarian cancer when I just started music. So I wanted to write her something that could really, because I thought, how am I supposed to say to her, because she was dying and it was at the point where I knew that. And, I just thought, how am I going to be able to say all that I want to say to her? So I wrote her a song, and I just found that was so therapeutic, both for me, but especially for her. It meant so much to her in her, final days. And then that's when I decided that I really wanted to use this universal language of music to bring people together, to have a good time, and to reconnect with your emotions, but to also raise awareness and raise money for some amazing, amazing charitable causes. I've been trying to fundraise for charity since I was, younger than when I started music, just because it's always just been something where supporting issues in the world like equality and, mental health and veterans and cancer, just everything. It's been something that I've just really wanted to help. I've just wanted to help make change, and music is such a powerful way to do that.
Now,
So
and sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say, then, what was it like for you watching the things that were going on for the last 2 years that we've been seeing on social media? Because everything you just talked about, all of those things came to a different light in the last, 18 months and so.
it did, and it was really, really difficult to watch for sure. And just knowing that, I mean, there wasn't much we could do about it other than, signing petitions and donating money and stuff like that to all these different issues that were happening at the time. But it was hard just to sit back and not be able to do much. And that's when, I went to the piano and I learned songs that could reflect issues that were happening, or written songs about it. And that really helped as well. I during the really heat of the pandemic, I made a little recording of Rise Up by Andre Day. And, my mom, she's an ER physician in Calgary. So she has really seen COVID firsthand. It's been, my unique experience. I like to call my parents pandemic parents, because my dad was also a STARS Air Ambulance pilot, which is our air rescue service here
Wow.
in Calgary, specifically for, illness related or injuries and stuff like that. Um, so I actually made a video of me singing Rise Up by Andre Day, and sent it around to all of the, healthcare workers out there, just because I just felt for them in that time. And that's also how, this concert, Kaiya Live, which just happened on Saturday, November 20th, was created. It was inspired by my parents. And that's another way that I tried to help with, what was sort of happening in the world. Just try and spread some positivity and uplifting energy just to everyone who's been affected, especially healthcare workers. And we also raised awareness for three awesome organizations as well. So I guess it's been hard to watch. But I've tried my best to make a difference in my own ways through music and by, resharing and signing petitions and donating money as well.
The other thing you do is you put out great music. New single. That's one of the big reasons why we're talking. What
Yes.
is the new single called, and how is it representing you right now in your career?
Great question. So the new single is called I'm in It. And I think it really represents where I'm at right now, because it's all about, first love and sort of that first experience of just, being all in, but at the same time, not really knowing what you're doing. And I think that's definitely where I was at, before the pandemic, or even at the beginning of the pandemic with my music career, when we had to sort of readjust everything. It was weird. I was just loving it, loving it, loving it, but I had no idea what I was doing in terms of, readjusting, because I just learned all about the music industry and performing live, and then nope, we're going to be performing online and everything's going to be digital. So I think it sort of relates to that now, just because of the constant learning that's happening and the constant, I don't know if I know what I'm doing, but just always being in love with music. I think that's really how this song relates to where I'm at the moment.
Now, this is my favorite question. What was it like for your parents to hear that song? I mean, let's face it, parents are protective. So I can only imagine, especially dad looking over going, excuse me, what's this song about?
Oh my gosh, totally. So I came back from Annika, who you actually talked to. I co-wrote the song with Annika and her husband Spencer, who's also my co-producer. And I came back and my mom was like, "That quickly?" And I was like, "Yeah, we wrote it that quick." It was in 2 hours, which is crazy. We were just such a creative flow at the moment. I came back and I played it for them, and surprisingly, I was really worried because I'm like, "Oh no, the song's about love, and the demo's not that good and everything." But then they said, whoa, like they were so surprised at, they're like, holy, what is this song? It's called I'm in It, and they're like, it's amazing. They loved it. I was so surprised. I thought they'd be like, what do you mean writing about first love and everything? And I was like, yeah, I mean, when they said they loved it, I said I love it too. I think we should even take it into the studio. And my dad was like, yes, hell yes, let's take it into the studio. So they were just so supportive of this song, but yeah, at the same time, like you said, I was really surprised because I thought, it was about love and everything, and yeah, so I was just really surprised of how much they loved it, and even my little sister, after playing the demo for a lot of the day, by the end of it, she was like singing the hook. So I was like, what? This is crazy. It was just awesome.
It's great to have such a supportive family. But you need support. I mean, you have a song. I look at it as a support for an EP or an album. So what is happening in that direction?
Great question again. So many great questions. I have Speak Out and I'm in It out now, and a couple more singles coming out, and it is sort of leading into an EP. I don't want to give too much away because
Okay.
I'd spill it all. But yes, you can expect some more music definitely in the new year, and a body of work coming up for sure.
What about 2022? What are the plans? Are going to be more virtual shows? Are you going to be doing live shows? What's happening? We know, like I said, something's in the works music wise, but stage wise, what's happening?
Great question. I'd say, as soon as things start to look more hopeful and open up, then I'm so excited to get back to live performing. Like virtual performing's been great, but I'm just excited to get back on the stage. It's been such a long time since I've stepped foot on an actual stage and performed for an actual crowd. I got to do it in a smaller scale in the summer, but I'm just excited to perform live. But any virtual shows that come up, I'll definitely do them as well, just because I've really gotten the hang of virtual shows and how to connect with people that way, which has been an interesting learning experience, but really awesome in the same way because you can connect to so many people. I mean, you're in Toronto and I'm in Calgary. You're in Toronto,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So you're in Toronto, I'm in Calgary, and we're connecting this way through Zoom. It's crazy. So I'm just definitely looking forward to, especially playing I'm in It, live and virtual, especially live though. I'm really looking forward to playing I'm in It live. I'm just looking forward to live, live performing, as you can tell.
Yeah, no, you know what? And thank God for Zoom because it makes things so much easier. So,
Yes.
yeah, no complaints. Now, I have to always ask this question. Do you celebrate Christmas?
I do, yes.
Okay. So, first off, what are the plans for the Christmas season?
Ooh, great. Yeah. I'm not gonna say great question again because I've said that like 17,000 times. The plans for Christmas, hopefully we'll have some family. We'll be able to have some family over because family is everything to me and to my, immediate family, but just having, grandparents and aunts and uncles. We're decorating for Christmas,
Great.
soon. In terms of music wise, I'm really looking forward to learning some Christmas songs.
Oh, nice.
Because Christmas songs, there's just something so magical about Christmas songs in the Christmas season, and hopefully getting to do some performances where I'll get to actually perform those Christmas songs, not just for my family and friends, but for an audience. That would just be, I really look forward to that. But mostly just Christmas shopping at the moment for our family, and really, yeah, just taking it easy. I'm just really looking forward to it. And I think this is one of the first Christmases in years where both of my parents are going to be off, which is going to be great.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. So, here's the other question. What would you say would have been your favorite either Christmas present or Christmas toy that you got growing up? You know, that big anticipation where was 3, 2, 1, Christmas. Ah, I gotta rip it apart, and there it is.
It was, I'd say, I got a record player, like a vinyl player. I'd say that was a couple years ago. I'd
Wow.
say that was definitely either that or so definitely either the vinyl record player because I use it all the time and I have now this
Yeah.
huge collection of vinyls which are just awesome. There's just something about vinyl. It's awesome.
Yes.
And then I'd say, or it could be tied with I love Hamilton the musical.
Uh-huh.
It's probably my favorite musical. So my parents last year got me a Hamilton bedspread, like literally Hamilton
Oh,
suitcases and duvet covers. So I'd say either that or the record player.
I love that. And the record player thing. Oh my goodness. See, it's kind of funny because me thinking someone your age, if I showed them a record player, they'd be like, I don't get it. Where does it? Where like I know what's happening here. Your parents taught you well.
They
They
did.
taught you very well. I love that. One last question as we're wrapping this up, and I've been asking this question to a lot of artists. 2019 with everything happening, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I want to get to 2020, please." And then we got to 2020, and then they were like, "I need to get out of 2020. Let's get to 2021." And now, as we speak, we're heading into 2022, and you can feel people are waiting for that anticipation of the ball to drop. 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! Things are going to change. And you're like, hold on. Things just don't change like that. What advice, from what you've learned, what advice can you give folks out there who are hoping for that anticipation of 2022 is going to be perfect and just kind of reminding them, not always how it works? What advice would you give them?
I'd say that's a like I've never been asked that before. That's such a unique question. It might give me some time to think about that. Hmm. I'd say, you know, you just got to take in the little moments that there's going to be a lot of negativity in the world, in your life. But when you focus on the positive moments, the moments you have with loved ones, the moments you have doing what you love to do, your passion, whether it's music or whether it's sports or reading or writing or whatever it is, the moments that you have, ooh, I actually have a great one. So yeah, focus on the little moments and the positive things that make you happy because there's going to be so much negativity. But the other thing is focus on the journey, not necessarily the destination. So, because if you're really like, okay, we're going to get to 2022, everything's going to be great, you're going to miss all of the positivity and all of the amazing things that will happen in 2021 from, November 26th till January 1st. Because we still got, I guess, a month to go
As we
before.
speak, yes.
Oh, yeah. So we still got a month to go. So I'd say just hold on to the little things that bring you joy, and focus on the journey, not the destination. Because if you're so focused on 2022, and I mean, it's great to be focused on something and goal oriented, but make sure that you're just enjoying the journey along the way, so that you don't miss the really amazing things that happen. So
I
yeah, I
love it.
guess I'd say that's the advice.
I love it. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been amazing. Congratulations on the new single. Looking forward to the upcoming new music.
Yes.
And when all that comes together, let's cross fingers that we can talk next year. Have a great holiday. All the best for you and for 2022. And like I said, let's make sure that we talk in that year. Congratulations on everything. And thank you so much for the interview.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. It's just been an honor, and I've had so much fun talking with you, Rudy. And yes, all the best to you as well for 2022. And I think I can say this as well. Happy holidays to you as well. So thank you.